Hey there guys, what is going on? I got something very special for you here today. We did hold a poll on the channel recently which was talking about what content you guys wanted to see in the next video. And essentially that was a top 10 loadouts video that it turned out being the winner. With the update, with the most recent patch, of course, the Season 2 Reloaded mid-season update is very, very exciting. So we have 10 of the best loadouts here today, the best class setups in the game right now, in my opinion, with the most recent weapon tuning, balances, buffs, nerfs, and all those other kind of good things. Just before we do get into it here, make sure you do hit that subscribe button with those notifications turned on. I massively appreciate it. It really does help me out. Of course, about 90% of you guys watching these videos right now are not subscribed. So if you could take the time to just hit that little red button for me, that would be absolutely massive. Alrighty, so the first thing we are looking at here today is the MAC-10, which did receive actually some nerfs, which is kind of interesting. Now, this did modify the bullet pattern to add slightly more horizontal trajectories, which is kind of a little bit of a bad thing, but with the most recent weapon tuning and attachment tuning, actually, they did make this thing pretty good. So with the right attachments in the class setup that we've got going on right here, we can actually hit the target very, very easily with this particular option. With the attachments on the MAC-10, we want to go with something like this. We're not taking the optic. Of course, we do have the gunfighter wildcard because we do need 8 attachments for this thing, which is a little unfortunate. I usually like to run 6 perks, but it is what it is. So in the muzzle slot, we do want to start off with that SOCOM Eliminator, which does give us a bunch of vertical recoil control, as well as 85% muzzle flash concealment, which means our red dot disappears quite quickly. Combine this with the reinforced heavy barrel for a bit of extra damage range, as well as 80% increase to our bullet velocity, which is nice for this particular weapon. Then you combine that again with the steady aim laser for a 15% increase to a hipfire accuracy, meaning if we are up close with people, we don't really have to worry about getting kills. And then the underbarrel, we want that field agent grip for that 8% increase to that vertical recoil control and 16% increase to the horizontal recoil control. Keep an eye out for some of these particular underbarrel options. They do change these quite significantly, like this speed grip now does give vertical and horizontal recoil control with this particular weapon, so keep that in mind. Take a look at the attachments, they did change a lot of them. In the magazine slot, we are going for the standard 53 round drum mag, of course, to get more bullets to fire, as well as not reducing our aim down sight speed too much with this. Then the handle, we want that airborne elastic wrap for that 30% increase to our aim down sight speed, as well as flinch resistance, and of course aim while going prone. We're going to say these a lot, so keep that in mind. And then lastly, we want sprint to fire speed from the Raider stock, 30% increase, as well as a little bit of aim walking movement speed here. Including with this, we are taking the street sweeper still, which they actually didn't nerf, so this would probably like on this list as well. These are in no order, but I mean the street sweeper is still pretty good in this game, which is very, very amusing. We want to start off with that V choke, of course, for that tighter ADS spread. The barrel, we want that damage barrel, so we get that one shot kill. The magazine, we want the 18 round drum mag, of course, and the handle, the airborne elastic wrap. We want to aim down sight a lot with this thing, and then the sprint to fire speed from the nose stock. If you do see us using the street sweeper on some of these other class setups, just know that the attachments are the same throughout. The tactical, we usually go with the stim shot, the semtex, and the jammer in the field upgrade slot and the lethal slot respectively, of course. Then in this, as I mentioned, we are running gunfighter as well. We want flak jacket, scavenger, and ninja as our perks. You can change these around a little bit depending on what you do prefer, but this is what I'm going with right now. Moving on to another SMG that is still fantastic in this game, the LC10 is still one of those options that's just like, did they even change anything? They actually reduced the maximum damage range on this by 41%, which is quite significant here, and slightly reduced the mid-range damage, which is again a little unfortunate with this thing, but it's so super strong. Anyway, we are still running the street sweeper with this thing, stim shot, semtex, and the jammer in these 3 respective slots. We do have perk greed, so we run flak jacket, forward intel, assassin, scavenger, ninja, and ghost as well. These are my favorite perk options. So again, the attachments on the LC10, we want to go with something like this. Starting with the barrel, we want that task force option. This does give us a 4-shot kill if we are getting a couple of headshots in the mix, as well as a nice amount of damage range and bullet velocity. Then the underbarrel, that field agent grip, as always, getting those shots on target with this is really, really easy. In the magazine slot, we are taking the salvo 52 round fast mag, of course, for a very fast reload speed and the most amount of bullets to fire. This is pretty much the best option with this weapon. Then again, the airborne elastic wrap for that aim down sight speed, flinch resistance, and of course aim while going prone. And lastly, in the stock slot, we're going with that Raider stock for that sprint to fire speed, as well as aim walking movement speed. This thing absolutely shreds people still. They did nerf it slightly, but it's still a very, very powerful weapon in this game. Our third class here today is something that did receive massive, massive buffs here, man. Like, they increased the damage of the Milano 821, the mid-range damage range, the sprint out speed, the raise time, and of course the aim down sight speed. So this thing is an absolute pump machine now. Still the similar stuff in the middle slot, stim shot, semtex, and of course the jammer. Perk greed again, so we get 6 perks, flak jacket, forward intel, assassin, scavenger, ninja, and ghost. We're taking the RPG because that did actually receive some buffs as well. It is a larger explosive radius, and that shoots a little bit straighter now, which is quite nice. So the Milano 821 here, of course, these are the attachments that we have decided are the best that work for me. With that muzzle, we want that agency suppressor for that muzzle flash concealment, and of course that touch of recoil control. Then the barrel, we want that reinforced heavy, that 18% increase with the damage range and bullet velocity. Then that underbarrel, the field agent grip, again, 7% vertical, 16% horizontal. There's not really much to talk about there. Magazine, are actually going with the Vandal speed loader. This thing has a 32 round magazine by default, and having a very fast reload speed with it is super nice. And then lastly, we want that rated stock for that 30% increase to our sprint to fire time and aim walking movement speed. This is a great option now. If you haven't tried out the Milano A21 after this most recent balance patch, make sure you give it a go because it's a fantastic weapon in this game now. Next on this list here is the AK74u, which I think is still an absolutely fantastic weapon in this game. Our secondary literally doesn't matter whatsoever. We're not using it compared to the AK74u because this thing is just so good. Stimshot, Semtex, Jammer, again, that personal combination for me. You can change these however you do prefer, but this is what I like to go with. In the wildcard slot, perk greed, 6 perks, flak jacket forward, intel scavenger, assassin, ghost, and ninja. You can't really go past those in my opinion. The AK74u's attachments, we are going with stuff like this. The muzzle, the sound suppressor for that muzzle flash concealment, as well as changing up our iron sights. I do prefer the sort of like a little bit of a straighter iron sight compared to like the curved ones, which is interesting. Barrel slot, we're going for the task force option, so we get that 3-shot kill as well as bullet velocity and damage range. In the underbarrel slot, Spetsnaz grip, vertical recoil control, and horizontal recoil control. This is absolutely massive. 20% increase to our horizontal recoil control. Can't go past that. And then the handle, GRU elastic wrap, rather the aim down side speed, flinch resistance, and of course aim while going prone. You know what this does. And then the stock, we're going for the KGB skeletal stock. Sprint, fire speed, and aim walking movement speed bonuses are just perfect with this weapon. We are a little shy of ammo sometimes, but it is what it is. You don't really need extra ammo with this thing when you absolutely dominate everyone at close quarters. Another weapon that is still absolutely fantastic in this game, it did receive some sort of attachment changes that making it a little bit less powerful in terms of that recoil control, as the AK47. Again, the very, very same Street Sweeper class setup that we have talked about previously. Stimshot, Semtex, Jammer, again, those three in the middle. The perk read, of course, flak jacket, forward intel, assassin, scavenger, ninja, and ghost. Again, you can't really skip over those. The attachments for the AK are as follows. We want that muzzle for that Spetsnaz compensator. Again, that little bit of extra vertical recoil control is super nice here, meaning you can hit that shots very easy. The barrel, we want that 3-shot kill again if we are including some headshots. This is very, very similar damage numbers to the AK74u, and that's why we run the RPK barrel. Then the underbarrel, that Spetsnaz grip, means we do hit the shots very, very easily with this thing. Then the handle, again, GRU elastic wrap, aim down sight speed is the main draw card here, a 30% increase, meaning we get those sights up nice and quickly. And then the stock, the KGB skeletal stock, 30% increase to sprint to fire speed, and aim walking movement speed increase of 40%, meaning we move around the map very quickly while we are aimed down sight. This is a fantastic option in the game, still one of my favorite assault rifles still, man. It just hits so hard, does so much damage, still gets that 3-shot kill. What's not to like here? One of the weapons that I've actually been very, very impressed with this latest balance patch and all of the weapon tuning, attachment tuning, and other things did actually get a little bit of a buff here, which of course was increasing the maximum damage range by 40%. This is the Groza here. Now, we are sticking with the Street Sweeper, similar attachments as we have mentioned before. Stimshot, Semtex, Jammer, perk greed, flak jacket, forward intel, scavenger, assassin, ninja, and ghost. We are flying through these right now. So the Groza attachments are as follows. The only problem with this thing is the recoil control can be a little bit hairy. That's what we tried to address here. So starting off with that Spetsnaz compensator for that 12% increase to our vertical recoil control, meaning we can hit the target very, very nicely here, combines with the GRU composite. Now, our damage range is actually very, very nice here. I actually think it's about 60 meters with this barrel, so 25% increase is super nice. The VDV reinforcer is actually a little much at 100 meters of damage range. That's just... you don't need that. So the GRU composite is enough here. Then the underbarrel, Spetsnaz grip, keeping us on target with that vertical and horizontal recoil control. Not really too much to go over here. We know what that does. In the handle, GRU elastic wrap again, aim down sight speed of 30%, and the stock, the KGB pad for the sprint to fire speed and aim walking movement speed. Again, this is one of the weapons that I've actually been most impressed with. I don't think the Groza was ever bad, but did need a little bit of love. I thought it was going to get a little bit of a recoil control boost, but the extra damage range seems to have done a quite good job here. So if you haven't tried the Groza after the most recent patch, make sure you throw this class together because this thing absolutely stomps right now. Next, we do have another very, very good assault rifle class set up in the XM4 here. We are taking the secondary, the knife. We don't really care about this too much as we are running 8 attachments on this bad boy, so we can get away with not having anything in the secondary slot. Stimshot, Semtex, Jammer, we're going with Flak Jacket, Assassin, and Ninja here. In the wildcard slot, we are taking Gunfighter because we do want 8 attachments on this particular assault rifle class setup in the XM4, and these are the attachments. Want that Microflex LED in the optic slot so we get a very nice clear sight picture with this thing. Millstop Reflex is also a very good option. Muzzle slot, again, infantry compensator for that little bit of extra recoil control, meaning we hit the target very, very easily here. Barrel, we want the reinforced heavy barrel, or the task force. This is sort of depending up to you. We do make it a little bit easier for ourselves to hit shots if we take the reinforced heavy barrel with that 100% increase to our effective damage range and 40% bullet velocity is a very nice option. Then the body, we want that Tiger Team Spotlight for that reveal distance, a very nice increase here. Then, of course, the field agent grip. Vertical recoil control, horizontal recoil control, you can't talk about that anymore. 40 round mags on this class setup, meaning we have more bullets to fire. 30 is sometimes not enough, and 40 is a really nice balance. Handle, serpent wrap, we don't have the airborne elastic wrap unlocked yet, which is a little embarrassing, but it is what it is. This is what you want to go with over the serpent wrap if you do have this unlocked. Then the stock slot, SAS combat stock is what we've got unlocked again. The Raider pad is what you would choose for that sprinter fire speed, but this is what we've got unlocked at the moment, which is a little unfortunate, but it is what it is. So my favorite LMG in the game at the moment is still the Sona 63, which is a fantastic option. This did get nerfed a little bit with a little bit less damage range, which is a little unfortunate. It still has a fantastic hip fire accuracy though. In the secondary slot, we are taking the knife here because we aren't really using much else as we are running 8 attachments on this class setup, but it feels like a waste to run 8 attachments and then run something else as well. Stim shot, Semtex, jammer, again, that very popular combination that we do like. Flak jacket, assassin, and ninja, again, as I said, this is up to you depending on what you do prefer. We're taking gunfighter, as I already mentioned. As for the attachments here, we are taking the optic slot. We want that mil stop reflex. I don't really like the iron sights in this thing. They're fine, but they're not the best, so an optic here is really nice. The muzzle, we are going for 15% increase to our vertical recoil control for the infantry compensator. Barrel, we're going for the task force, is a 10% increase to our damage, 100% increase to our effective damage range, and 100% increase to our bullet velocity with no negative recoil controlling effects. Body slot, steady aim laser, 20% increase to our hip fire accuracy is really nice here. Up close, you can actually hip fire this thing quite consistently. Underbarrel slot, we are going for that infiltrated grip for that 5% movement speed, 5% shooting movement speed, and 5% aim walking movement speed. In the magazine slot, we are taking the 100 round mags just to give us a little bit more bullets to fire. Handle, airborne elastic wrap, aim down sight speed increase of 30% is absolutely massive with this thing. And in the stock, we want the Raider pad, of course, for that 30% increase to our sprint fire speed, as well as 40% increase to aim walking movement speed. My favorite tactical rifle in the game at the moment is, of course, the M16. Getting those one burst kills feels absolutely hilarious in this game. You do want to run 8 attachments on this thing, as it kind of feels a little bit short of those attachments if you are only running 5. So again, the street sweeper in the secondary slot with the same class setup that we have mentioned previously. Stim shot, Semtex, jammer in those slots as well in the middle. We are taking gunfight, as I mentioned already, and then flak jacket, assassin, and ninja as well for our perks again. Our attachments for the M16 are as follows. We want an optic here because the iron sights in this thing are a little messy. Like, it feels really long and it feels like it's not very usable. So of course a mil stop reflex is a great option here. In the muzzle, we're going for the infantry compensator again, 25% increase to our vertical recoil control. Barrel, we're going for the task force for a 14% increase to our damage, meaning we can guarantee those one-shot kills at those close to medium distances, as well as increasing our damage range, and bullet velocity is just so super powerful here. In the body, we're going for that Tiger Team Spotlight for that reveal distance increase. In the underbarrel slot, we are going for that field agent foregrip as well for that 10% vertical recoil control and a 40% increase to our horizontal recoil control, which is absolutely massive for hitting those shots very, very easily here. In the magazine slot, we are going for the 45 round mags here because mostly we don't really need that many bullets on an M16. In the handle, of course, we want that airborne elastic wrap, but again, dumb old me doesn't have it unlocked here, so an aim down sight speed increase is always good. And then again, similar situation with the Raider pad, I don't have that unlocked either, which is a little unfortunate, but an extra increase to our sprint to fire speed is always nice here, as well as having aim walking movement speed. But the SAS combat stock is actually pretty nice here as well for a 78% increase to our aim walking movement speed, so keep that in mind as well. And then the last class setup that we have here today is, of course, a sniper. I wanted to include a little bit of everything here, and I think the best sniper in the game right now, just for pure sniping and a little bit of quick scoping, is, of course, the LW3 Tundra, one of my favorite weapons in the game. You just get so many one-shot kills with this thing, it absolutely shreds people. We've chosen a little bit of a different secondary here. This is, of course, the Akimbo Diamatis, and these are the attachments that we want to run with, which is the agency suppressor. We want the big barrel, which does increase our damage. We want the 5mm laser. We want the magazine with the most amount of bullets again, and the stock in the dual wield option. Not really much else to talk about there. This absolutely shreds up close and is a perfect combination with most snipers. Again, in the middle options, we are taking the stim shot, the Semtex, and of course the jammer. And again, in the wildcard, we are taking perk greed because we do want 6 perks here, and then we're taking flak jacket, forward intel, scavenger, assassin, ninja, and ghost, as you have seen without rest of these classes. So our attachments on the LW3 Tundra are as follows. So we want the barrel here. We want that Tiger Team to increase our damage by 20%, fire rate by 21%, and bullet velocity by 50% is a fantastic option here. In the body slot, we are going for the Tiger Team Spotlight for a 40% increase to our reveal distance. This is particularly powerful on snipers because you get that extra reveal distance. It means you can see little red dots on people. And underbarrel, we are going for the infiltrated grip for that 5% movement speed increase, 5% shooting movement speed, and 5% aim walking movement speed. And then the handle, we want that airborne elastic wrap, of course, but all the options that increase aim down sight speed are going to be bonuses over not having aim down sight speed. So if you are leveling this thing up, just take whatever you can get. And in the stock slot, we are going for that Raider pad for the 30% increase to our sprint to fire speed and a 40% increase to our aim walking movement speed. Alrighty, that wraps up our list here. Hopefully you did enjoy this one. These are the 10 best class setups in terms of my opinion. These are my favorite weapons in the game right now, of course. There's something to be impressed about a lot of these buffs and changes and stuff. So keep in mind, some of these attachments did definitely change the stats, and the movement around of numbers as a little bit interesting. So thank you very much for watching this one. I massively appreciate it, of course. Make sure you do hit that subscribe button with those notifications turned on, because I know about 90% of you guys watching this video right now are not subscribed. So again, if you could help me out, that would be absolutely wild. And of course, I will see you in the next video here. Thank you very much for watching. As I said, bye!